The team, Digital Pupils, is proud to present our project, Report on Oculus Rift. Ever since we have had even rudimentary technology to support it, virtual reality has fascinated us. It all started in 1968 when a computer scientist, Ivan Sutherland, has successfully implemented the first version of augmented reality head-mounted display. Eventually, it led to development of newer technology, accessible to the public at large. Although their early implementations of virtual reality game systems, like Nintendo Power Glove and Virtual Boy, seemed very promising, in the end, they have failed to become a little more than fads because of a multitude of their limitations, especially in terms of usability. Nintendo Power Glove had a brilliant marketing team. However, it ended up being a frustrating and extremely imprecise accessory. Virtual Boy was a really expensive toy for its time, with very few games available in it. The main complaints were the lack of intuitive head tracking, as well as a limited capability of a low-resolution display, able to reproduce only two colors, red and black. Both of those factors have severely decreased desired player immersion. Nowadays, a new product has a chance to break away from all of the failures of its predecessors and become a mainstream success. Everything has changed when an entrepreneur, Paul Merlucky, has announced his plans of creating a new generation of virtual reality devices.
My name is Paul Merlucky, and I'm a virtual reality enthusiast and the designer of the Rift. Games are something I'm really passionate about, and even more than playing games, I'm passionate about bringing games to the next level. What we're doing at Oculus is trying to create the world's best virtual reality headset designed very specifically for gaming.
And Palmer has delivered on his promise. What had initially started as a small Kickstarter project eventually grew into a large company with serious investments. With the assistance of a renowned developer from ID Software, John Carmack, Lucky has successfully funded his Kickstarter campaign and shipped his first Oculus Developer Kit prototype. Although it certainly had a lot of downsides, such as insufficient pixel density, relatively low 640 by 800 resolution, and even nausea from motion blur after prolonged use, it nevertheless managed to capture the imagination and interest of thousands of avid gamers. The possibilities seemed endless. Oculus has now made significant progress in improving their prototype. With their interim version called Crystal Cove and recently released Development Kit 2, they have eliminated a lot of issues plaguing their earlier models. I've had a chance to test it for myself at PAX East in Boston this year. After waiting in long lines, diving headfirst into virtual reality was worth it. Among some of the major changes implemented by the developers of Oculus was positional head tracking, which registered the head and neck movements of the player with greater accuracy and eliminated dizziness. Other major improvements were high-resolution 180p OLED displays with faster response time, improved motion blur, and low persistence, which drastically improved image quality to lifelike levels. Recently, Oculus Rift was acquired by Facebook for around $2 billion. This caused a lot of concerns about diluting the project's goal of gaming experience with social media. Nevertheless, Oculus generated enough interest to spawn multiple competitive alternatives.
Sony has plans to unveil its own virtual reality device for use on the new next-generation gaming console, the PlayStation 4. As it stands right now, the Oculus Rift has no game console compatibility. It's strictly for PC gaming use. Sony could possibly create their own niche in the VR world, providing console gamers with the first generation of virtual reality devices. There is also the possibility of Sony's plans flopping and fizzling out. This could potentially damage growth in the field of VR because it is such a new technology. It could sway society's opinions on whether VR technology is ready for use or if it is a poor investment of time and money. Moving forward, we are sure to see many more devices just like these popping up everywhere we look. What does the future hold for us? What's to come? There are far more uses for virtual reality technology than just gaming. Imagine if VR technology is adopted by healthcare organizations, being used as a training aid for new surgeons to practice specific operations virtually with no harm to another human being. No repercussions for a fatal mistake. Imagine. VR technology has already been used for years as a military training aid, simulating real-world scenarios. reacting to an enemy ambush, how to deal with hostage situations, virtual shooting ranges, weapon familiarization, you name it. There's no limit to what VR can do and accomplish. Although, with so many positive possibilities budding from virtual reality, there's always a darker side. How will widely adopted use of VR devices change society as we know it? Will we be severed from reality, doomed to live our lives in a fantasy world? Will it produce an entire generation of techno junkies and rampant sociopaths? It could be a life-saving godsend, a groundbreaking educational tool, a means of becoming our best selves. Or it could be a mindless, energy-sapping diversion, an off-ramp to electronic isolation, a playground for immortality. Chances are it will be all of these things.